All right, jumping up here at the beginning of the video down here at the shop, and the black 66 Corvette that we had in here, the body itself is going home, so we are wanting to do a video on it. I know I mentioned showing you guys when it was finished, so we're going to get this thing in the video here. We are going to go down, help him do the final assembly. He's going to go ahead and get the body sat down on the chassis and start final assembly while we finish up the doors and the small bits like that. So we'll go ahead and do a little video on it here and let you guys check it out. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Trans Am video. And I know we've discussed the wiring on this car. It's pretty much a nightmare. It's been cobbled on, hacked on. But anyway, luckily I took some pictures of my buddy's 79 and I'm able to decipher where some of this wiring goes. So what I'm doing now is sifting through the engine harness, figuring out what's what needs repaired, what I can use. Anyway, with that being said, I'll kind of show you guys where I'm at. So I uncovered this and had a big old thing of electrical tape around it. So nice quality repair job there. And I'm not too sure where this thing goes just yet. But figured out, got our alternator connector ready to go. This is kind of a janky fix, so I'm gonna be fixing these, but I want everything essentially plugged in place where it goes so I know what's what. Then I can go back and start fixing everything individually. It's just how I work. I'm not the biggest wiring guru in the world, so with that being said, we're gonna keep forging forward. Found the coolant temp sensor connector. So that thing's ready to be worked on, and then I ended up plugging this in for the wiper motor. That was just chilling, figured out where that went. And I found a bare wire here that's actually coming out of the motor. I got to see what that goes to. Hopefully I can find a schematic for one of these. And then I found this guy as well. I mean, I don't know if something goes to the choke. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. But we are well on our way. Got some more stuff to check out over here. But making a little bit of headway. And then I got the main power wire for that old stereo system yanked out. And then I got the old speaker wires yanked out because I will eventually get rid of that and get one of the new reproduction package trays. But for now, we still got the neutral safety switch wiring for the ignition switch, I do believe, from the old B&M shifter. These two red wires and that gray to be pulled out. And then hopefully that's all the nasty add-on wiring that needs to be pulled out. So we're going to keep sifting through this thing, may put up a time lapse or just may check back in with you when we're finished up here. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to get back to it. Okay, we left off the other day sorting through some wiring. Kind of came to a stop because I tried to get the 301 Pontiac power steering brackets to work, and I got everything to mount up except for she's at a pretty wild angle. So those definitely aren't going to work. I'm just going to order the right brackets. So getting ready to place an order on those. I got most of the wiring sorted. Which I'm going to obviously redo the ends. I think I mentioned that already. There's the tax signal and stuff for the HEI and the distributor. And then I got two wires. I got a blue one and then one coming out of the wiper motor that I'm not sure what it does, and then one more on the other side. So 3 wires that I'm not too sure of. So I'm gonna have to get a wiring diagram for an engine harness for one of these. Probably I should be able to look it up, and hopefully that should tell me what the heck's going on with those few wires that I need to check out. So think for now, we're going to unbox the stuff for the fuel system, which is the new tank, sending unit, see what lines it comes with. So I know these got some, I think these are like a return style. I'm not too sure, but I know there's like some vent lines or something like that. I don't know yet. Got to look at what all I got. Never really paid much attention. So we're going to see what we got here, unbox these things, and hopefully I'll get myself some new, a roll of rubber line and blow all these fuel lines out, put some new rubber lines on, and get this tank and sending unit installed. Okay, let's open this up, see what we got. So we're actually getting way down on our parts count over here. Just the sending unit, fuel tank, and the small box up here with like the thermostat and battery tray and plug wires, and then the radiator. So we're getting down there and get those power steering brackets coming, and we're going to be ready to get this thing to test fire. Okay, let's see what we got here. We're going to see if this mates up with our other unit, see if it's even remotely close. If it is, then we'll be in good shape. If it isn't, then shoot. So I'm going to set this back down in there for just a minute, and let's see what we got with this tank. Yep, looks like I already know I gotta save some of my lines off the other tank. So I gotta grab my other tank, drag it over here, and see what the heck I gotta do. But before I do that, we'll pop this thing out of here, and we'll let you guys check it out. Yeah, it looks like I'll see what we can do here. There it is. Kind of wish I could have just used the original tank, but it was leaking around the seams so bad it just wasn't feasible. But with as relatively inexpensive as these things are, it's pretty much worth it. So anyway, I'm gonna bring the old tank around, take a gander at what the heck I need to do, and see what's different about this vent tube here, and we'll go from there. Then I'll catch you guys back up on where I'm at. Okay, as you can tell, this vent tube comes down and stops right here. So I don't know if I can just run like a rubber vent line around and connect back to my other tube, or a line I should say. Here's what we got on the other one. Comes out the top, runs over here, does a loop, runs right through that channel, and ends up back on that side. So not sure of the exact purpose of that. I don't know if there was like a charcoal canister type system on this thing. I really don't need to run that. So I don't know, because that stuff was all gone off this car. So I'll probably hop underneath the back, see what the heck we got going on, and then we'll decipher what we need to do. Okay, from what I just figured out by tracing these lines, the big one that runs down the driver's side of the car, and then the hard line stops right there at the lower fender area. And I've already cut that rubber line out when we installed the Z-bar frame bracket. And there's a rubber line that connects it back to another hard line right up here. And if we look closely here, the bigger line is our feed, which is really hard to see, but it's this guy right there that if my camera would focus. This guy here is our feed, and I do believe this is for return. So here is one of the thin lines that the vent tube goes to that I think ran up here to some form of, there's like a vacuum canister or like a charcoal canister type thing that used to be up here. I saw it on my buddy's car when I was looking at it, and I know this one was long gone, so I'm assuming they just, I don't know. I can see the mount screws are still there, so I don't know if when he was taking all this stuff apart, he put a couple things elsewhere. Not sure, but don't think we really need to run that. So I can probably just vent this thing like any other tank and run my line up and buy a little tank vent. We'll see though, I'll be double sure. But anyway, so one of the lines is for that. The other small line that comes up with it, that's back there at the tank, you can see it split off right here, and that's what runs underneath and comes up as the small return line right up there above the big one. So as you can see, someone put like some kind of AN style fitting on this pump. So I will probably get a correct fitting for that. But anyway, I do have to remove the return line off the sending unit, which luckily it's made to be removable. And then as far as that other vent line goes, I may go ahead and remove it, but not sure that I'll end up using it because I don't think I'm going to run one of those canisters on my car. So I'm not going that correct with it. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So I'm going to work on getting some of this stuff prepped, disassembled and ready. And we'll catch you guys back up and see where we're at and hopefully be ready to get some new rubber this week and start running all these new fuel hoses. Okay, quick check-in. No, I'm doing a lot of talking, not showing a lot of working, but it's one of those days where I got some time, so I need to get stuff done instead of messing around trying to film all the work. So here's return. Got it all cleaned back up, looking pretty good. Got the vent line pulled back off, had to cut it right there. So what I'm going to do is essentially just use the stock line. I could just like run a vent, since I'm not running a charcoal canister, I could actually just run a vent and mount it out back, but then I'd have, you know, a hard line mounted under the car that's just open and in the way. And if I want to take it out, you're cutting it, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I think it's better just to leave it in place. I'll blow it out. And obviously I showed you guys where it was at. So I think the plan is where I cut this thing here will in turn, now I might have to trim a little bit more off. I left myself extra, but I'll run a little rubber 90 over to it, utilize that factory vent hard line, and then connect more rubber line at the back, let it come up here, and then I'll buy one of those nice, I think Holly sells them. They're like a check ball breather valve for your tank. And we'll run some more soft line and mount it here on the side of the core support. That way it's higher than the fill point of the tank and you're utilizing the stock stuff. And if I were to ever take this car fully back to stock, that correct line's there, which I know I'd probably end up replacing it or be able to clean it up, have to take it out and clean it up, whatever. Regardless, going to utilize what's there. I'll keep it easy. And it'll kind of be stock-ish, just no charcoal canister. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And also went ahead and got my power steering pump stuff pulled back off and got the hard line installed. Someone had an AN line installed there for some reason. So we got this thing on and in place. So that'll go right up to the carburetor, but it's just loose for now until we get the carb gasket and carb and stuff on it. I'm going to go inside, order the power steering brackets for this thing. I think for now, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue cleaning up this line or not. I think what I'm going to go through and do is get all the old rubber attached to these fuel lines, yanked off, get it out of the way, and we will be good to go. So that way, when I go get some rubber fuel line, we'll literally be ready to throw all this stuff in, and that gets me pretty excited. One more item checked off the list. So We'll go ahead and throw this sending unit in, get it locked in and ready, and start getting these old rubber lines off. Okay guys, I've installed a ton of these new main sending unit seals and tank ring, lock rings, and this is by far the worst one I've ever done. And you can tell, got the tabs lined up for the sending unit itself, and their recessed holes got her locked in. And look how far the line placement is off. So now I got to tweak on all these lines to get it over where it's supposed to go. Just wanted to check in really quick. We got the tank pretty much ready. I was just about to move on to getting the old rubber ends of the old fuel line off all our hard lines on the car. Just ran out of time, but check it out. Those are the original tank pads. So I'm going to use a little adhesive on those, but everything is ready and cleaned up. So we just ready for our rubber line here. And then ready to attach over there and ready to attach over here. And then I just need to get my small pipe cutter out, and we'll cut this right back here at the straight point and then run a nice little rubber 90. And the tank is ready to go in this thing, which is huge. So we'll pick up, hopefully in the next clip, getting all those old rubber line ends off, blowing the lines out. And then hopefully I should have all the rubber line from the part store, so we can start getting all this stuff hooked up. So, and then that's going to be for the fuel. And then hopefully I'll grab the carburetor and get those power steering brackets, and should be well on our way. And hopefully figure out where those last few wires go. So anyway, get myself cleaned up here, get some tools picked up, and next clip we'll be diving back into the fuel system again. All right, guys, just doing a quick check-in. Some time's passed, haven't been able to be out here working on any projects because got just too much other stuff going on, which is why it's been so long since the video's been out, which is what it is, part of life. Got all the old rubber line off. From front to back, except for one spot down here in the fender. So I'm gonna try to snag that real quick. And then, as you well know, we've been working on the tank, and we got her all ready, minus trimming this here. So hopefully here in the next clip, we're gonna be trimming that up, hooking all our rubber up over here, getting everything prepped and ready. Then we'll blow these lines out, be sure they're okay, which I believe they are. And then we'll be ready to install the tank, and then we can go through and start hooking up all new rubber everywhere, and we will be well on our way. And I also got the correct power steering brackets, so look forward to that here in another clip after we get the fuel system done. Hopefully get this power steering all mocked up and ready to rock. All right, new day. Just been a couple days, so I went ahead and been clearing out the lines. The feed and return are both clean and clear, so pretty happy on that. Blew out a little bit of dust in the return and the feed. The feed hard line goes up here by the carburetor, by the fuel pump, and runs over here down through the inner fender on this lower inner fender part. And then there's a rubber connection, and then it goes all the way to the back. Both are clear, and the line that was here still had a little bit of old fuel in it. Some of it's a mixture of card cleaner because I put some in it, so why it looks so excessive. But we blew her out. She's clean. So ran some ran brake clean through it, blew it out real good. So those two are clean, which are most important. Now, the issue I'm running into is my vent that runs up right there is clogged. So that being said, if I can't clear it up here shortly, I'm not going to piss with wasting a bunch of time trying to clear it out. I will leave the line there, cap it off to use it or mess with it in the future, and then we will run the stock line here at the tank still, which comes right here, goes, loops back around, comes out right here, and then we'll just run a rubber line and vent it and mount it somewhere up in the back like you would on an aftermarket system anyway, which I got one of these guys here. And if you remember some of my videos of, I think I filmed it doing it on a fuel injection swap. These are actually for the Holly Sniper tanks, but they're a really good vent because they got a check ball in them. So if you were ever to take the top side and then make it your bottom side, the fuel won't just start running out and, you know, run the risk of igniting and being all outside of the car. So anyway, I think we're in pretty good shape. So now that we got those lines blew out, and I don't think I'm going to be able to use that full return line, and I'm okay with that. The most important is the feed and return both properly work and they're clean. So, which that's a big relief. We are going to go ahead and get our clamps, rubber lines situated. I'm going to do that rubber line in that inner fender well, and I really can't film it. I'll show you guys where it's at. Kind of a pain in the butt. Let's see here. There's your feed. And then there it is, all tucked up in there by the bracket for the Z-bar. So I'm gonna work on getting that rubber line made, as well as the ones for up front. Get our clamps laid out, and we will be ready to get this tank in. All right, as you can see, we just got both those lines done. So now we need to come back here, finish up the tank. We just got to hook up our return there, with a little bit of rubber, and hook up our vent and get our clamps ready. And we're ready to put this sucker in and hook up all the lines back there. And then we are ready to move on to the power steering. I know at the beginning of the video, I kind of was tackling the wiring. Now that I got these parts, let's get the fuel system done. We'll get the power steering put on it. That way I can see if these old belts I have work, so that way I can cross-reference those part numbers, go get some new belts, and then we will tackle the last bit of the wiring and getting the carburetor on there, all that good stuff. So we're making some headway. We're getting close. I was hoping to do like a first start in this video, but I think my goal is this video will be tying up the fuel system, the accessories, and then the next video is probably going to be radiator, fan shroud, wiring, and getting fluids in the trans and engine, getting it started anyway. I'll go over that again at the end of the video. Anyway, let's get these lines and hoses situated so I know what I need, finish up the tank, and we'll get that sucker up in there. We are all set and ready. Everything's hooked up. and I went ahead and put the full amount of line on each one just so I can get the thing thrown up in the car, and then we can trim those to fit while we're laying under the car and get those attached where they go. So for now, I'm gonna run inside and get another fan because it is unbearably muggy out here and I'm hot. So I'm gonna take a little break, go get a fan, and we will come back and do our final little check and prep, and we're gonna throw this tank in. Guys, we're under the car, and as you can see in the time lapse, we got the tank up in here. And being that this is a new tank with original straps, fought me a little bit, but we got her did. But typical aftermarket fashion, here's your factory ground location for the sending unit, and what do you know, it comes up short. And I'm not re-drilling another hole. For one, it's a pain to get to. And no, it's not caught up on anything. It's free, and yep, typical aftermarket junk. So I'll probably snip that, do a nice soldered butt connection there, clean this factory ground up, and we'll locate it right there in the original spot. Now we got our lines marked, ready to hook those bad boys up. If we can see up in there. Hold on. There we go. We'll hook them up there, and then our feed line over there. And then we should finally be set. Okay, got all of our lines hooked up out back, minus the vent. So like I said, my vent line's clogged, so I have another spot I'm going to run it, but I need some more rubber fuel line. So I'll have to go get some more of that probably Monday. I'm going to move on to the power steering pump because that vent line's not a huge deal right now. So we're going to move on up front again and see if we can sling this power steering pump on and make that work. Hopefully we can. These brackets are supposed to be the right ones, and they sure look like it. So we'll set you guys up on a little time lapse here, and we'll get this crap on. All right, we finally have a correct power steering setup. So I got the small spacer up front. Sorry, excuse me. I'm thinking myself backwards when I was putting it on. Big spacer up front on that lower bolt. Then you got your middle adjuster here, the long alternator that goes all the way through to the head there. The other back adjuster on the block, and then the small spacer down there. And then obviously that's a built-in spacer to the pump housing and full adjustment. And as you can tell, the pump probably will lie somewhere in the middle right there where it's actually fairly straight. So now I got the correct bracketry. Now that's ready. That all works correctly. Fuel system's all dialed in, minus that vent, which I just need some more rubber hose. And then I'll probably tie that up off camera. Other than that, that pretty much ties that up right there. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. That's good stuff. And once I get the radiator and all that stuff in, we'll be able to tie up the pulleys there. You can see they line up. But anyway, I got the old belts. I'll test fit those when the time comes. They're laying down there. Got the fan ready. Radiators ready with the shroud. So I'll have to see what kind of hardware I need to mount my shroud. I got to buy some paint for the radiator because we don't want aluminum in there. I want the correct black. But anyway, I think that's finally going to do it for this video. Sorry it's taken so long, guys. I've been waiting on parts, and there's a few things I could move forward with on this car, but it's one of those things where I kind of have it set on what I want done first, because I'd hate to get too far on something else and then have to go backwards. So anyway, yeah, hopefully the next video we'll have a first start for you guys. But I got to get some the actual flange deals for these manifolds so we can make that all work. But yeah, I think next video you'll see tying up some of the wiring, radiator, paint and installation, probably the coolant hoses, obviously. I'll show you guys the vent, and hopefully we will be setting this thing up for firing it up. So anyway, once again, that'll do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the update. Hope you guys liked seeing the Corvette at the beginning. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.